Morning all, hope you're doing well. Brought you to a bit of a windy spot today. We're up at Mount Skip, and just above Hebden Bridge on the Heights Road. I'll just let you have a look around and see exactly where we are. Like I say, it is a bit of a windy day today. Hope it picks up all right. Yeah, as you can see, we're right up on the hillside. Across there's Epton Store. We're down into Hebden Bridge. In the far distance there, that's Studley Pike, if you can see that one. And into Mythenroyd and beyond. This road leads on to Midgley. Right, the reason why I've brought you up, it's in relation to this building here, which was the Mount Skip pub. I'll show you a painting. I've tried to find some photographs as it was, but there are no more. So I think it's a bed and breakfast now. Yeah, so behind me there, that was the Mount Skip pub. Now, back in 1998, it was used in the film Fanny and Elvis, which started filming that year. And they were using it as a location for one of their scenes. It were a bit of a fight scene in there. Now, the film starred Ray Winston and Kerry Fox, and was written by Kay Mellor. Now, what our involvement? Basically, we had to stop the traffic every now and again, just to allow the crews to crack on with the filming. So what we did, we were me and my pal were here. We're on overtime. Yeah, like I say, we were just sort of looking after the scene. Now, up here, the pub, they had a pub car park. Now, back in those days, 1998, they used police officers to do all the traffic control for these filming events. I think the old security companies do it now. I think it's probably cheaper than using us, because we're all on overtime. I think it was double time, a time and a half or something. And so we had plenty of volunteers for that. Anyway, this particular day, me and my pal were up here, controlling traffic, and this part here, now this was the car park to the pub. Like I say, the film crew had totally taken over the place. There were a white minibus parked here. I'll put an image on what it looked like, and it was parked here, and we were just doing our bit of controlling. And as time went on, I just saw a chap in it looked like a blazer and a pair of smart trousers. He came out of the pub, walked towards the minibus, and looked as though he'd got to get something out of the minibus. So we're parked in car park. Rummaged about a bit, then came back out, and he stood with us. We just sort of stood. Just where that wall is there beyond the sign, we just stood there, just chuntering away, talking about everyday stuff. And I'm just, he was asking me about Studley Pike and what it were all about. Like I say, we were just talking away, and I'm pointing out where different areas were of Hebden Bridge and Epton Store and Mythenroyd. And I can remember just saying to him, "You're not from round here, are you?" He said, well, no, I'm from down in London. I said, "Oh, right. And let's say he had a cig or something, we're there just talking away. And I could see my mate looking at me and thinking, well, what's up with him? And he'd shaking his head and sort of in disbelief. And I thought, I don't know what he was thinking about. Anyway, eventually this bloke, he sort of finished his cig, and he just said, I'll see you, and off he went. And he just went back in the pub, and like I say, I just thought, well, he just gave me the impression he was coach driver or something like that. And when he'd gone, we saw him going back into the pub, and my mate said, he said, you're bloody unbelievable. I said, why? What's up? He said, do you know who that was? I said, no, I haven't got a bloody clue. He said, that's Ray Winston, one of the bloody top actors, one of the top English actors. You know, he's done all sorts of stuff like Shakespearean stuff and all this, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh, bloody hell. Anyway, that was my involvement in meeting one of the top stars of film and stage. So, yeah, made a bit of a clown of myself, but, you know, I suppose it was easily done. All right, then. But thankfully, and giving him his due, he didn't make a big song and dance out of it, didn't Ray Winston. There was no edge to him. It was just like a normal bloke. There was none of this, do you realise who I am, and all that sort of carry on. So, yeah, it was, thankfully he didn't pull that stunt on me. So, yeah, I've since seen him, obviously, in other bits and pieces. I've seen him in Fanny and Elvis, which were good, and I've seen him in other things as well. I think he did The Sweeney, and recently he did a TV drama called The Gentleman, which he played a good part in that. So yeah, that'll go down in my little history book of meeting the stars. Right, back in the car. It's been a bit cold out there this morning. A bit of an icy blast coming in from the Arctic or somewhere. It's a quick word of thanks to an old pal of mine, Dave Redman. He was a local DJ from the mid-60s onwards, and on me hunt for an image for the Mount Skip pub, I found the painting, and it was Dave's dad, Harry Redman, who was the artist there. He said it was done round about 1955, 1956, when they were doing some painting and decorating inside the pub. And on his lunch break, he went outside and did it in pencil. And when he got home, he completed it with paint. So thanks again, Dave. It's very much appreciated for the use of that. All right then, take care now. Bye. Well, we're back in the middle of Hebden Bridge, town centre of Hebden Bridge, and I've brought you to St George's Square. Now this location was used quite a few times during the shooting of the film. It's totally different now. And at the time, you could actually drive through. They've pedestrianised it now and put a fustian needle there, and other bits and pieces of street furniture. But at the time, you could literally drive through here. You could park at the side of the road, and yeah, it's changed. I think it's for the better. Now, during the filming, one particular part of the film, and this was turned into a market, an outdoor market for Hebden Bridge, and there's quite a few. Well, I think most of the time were involved in the making of the film, and even myself. I'll put some stills on regarding that, but I managed to get a very, very small part on there. Just Bobby on the beat walking around the market. Also involved were well, the entirety of my family. My daughters, Daniel were involved, some friends of ours there, lads were running around the place. So yeah, it was a good thing for the town. And I think the biggest part of the film was the New Year's Eve celebration on 1999, Millennium Eve. Hebden Bridge celebrated it a good 14 months before the actual event. And me and my pal, same pal again, we volunteered for overtime. We got some overtime starting at 6 with no official finishing time. It was just we were on until the filming had finished, which was like an open checkbook for us. So yeah, we were doing that. So the Friday evening of the big event, we were just stood here where the phone box is, and we were just doing crowd control. Really, the place were absolutely packed. The entire of Hebden Bridge turned out. It's a busy night anyway on Friday, but they did turn out just to be on the film, and it was yeah, it was such a fantastic event, really. Just seeing everybody in the square celebrating Millennium Eve. I think it was like November '98, so we did celebrate it quite early. Yeah, so there we were, opposite Four Boys newsagents. We stood there watching the crowds gather and the world go by, and a lady came up to us. She just had like a Berghaus jacket on, and she came up and we were just chatting about Hebden Bridge. What a fantastic thing the whole lot were, the whole filming was for our small town. Like I say, we did get chatting, and I just said, she said, well, I'll have to get off. I said, you something to do with the film? She said, yes, I'm Kay Mellor, and I've actually, this is my film. So off she went. My pal looked at me again. He says, "You've done it again." He said, "You just put your foot right in it." He said, "Right, next time anybody approaches us, let me do the talking." So yeah, I'd done it again. But how was I to know? But she was a lovely lass. She was just sort of stood there talking about Hebden Bridge, really, and that was it. Yeah, the film crew had been really busy. The people who set everything up, they'd actually had a big banner made which stretched across George's Square. It's at George's Square, and it's a big green banner saying Hebden Bridge welcomes the millennium, year 2000. I'll put a still up and let you have a look at that. Now the film crew had more or less taken over the whole of Hebden Bridge. Everybody, just got everybody involved in it, and it's really it's good to watch the film again just to see how things were. And that was Lloyd's Bank. They had a big banner, another big banner stretching across the street. Decorations up, and it was they made a really good really good job of it. And I think this is the Hermit now, one of my favourite cafes. But even that was, I think that was the jewellery shop in the film. I'm walking down Hope Street now, and you can probably recognise it. It's the library. I'm just approaching Hebden Bridge Antiques, which is, as you know, and I've said countless times, that was the police station. So yeah, it was a good time to be a resident of Hebden Bridge. And when they finally did pull out, we all sort of missed them, especially us, the police, because we had a regular coffee tea spot, catering trucks, and an old bus that they had for refreshment. So it was always good for a pot of tea and a nice big bacon sandwich. Now I'm outside Hebden Bridge Picture House, which you probably know. I'm here for the opening night of Fanny and Elvis. A bit of a funny tale, really, regarding this. Now, we used to do regular visits on a Friday and Saturday night, mostly Fridays at Hebden Bridge Cinema. We'd get a cup of tea, a mug of tea, and stand at the back and watch the film. Well, officially, keeping an eye on the patrons. And we never had any bother there, but I think years before something must have kicked off inside the cinema. So they like I say, they welcomed us there every Friday night, which was nice during the winter. On the cold winter's night, just stood at the back of the cinema with a nice mug of tea in the warm. I'm not too sure, it must have been something on those sort of lines. Anyway, the opening night of Fanny and Elvis, the place were absolutely packed out. I think the whole of Hebden Bridge must have crammed themselves into the first showing of Fanny and Elvis, and it was quite good to see, really. I had to watch the film twice because, like most people in Hebden, we're probably picking out the locations and spotting people that we knew, and there were people laughing in the places where didn't have to be funny bits of the film. I think it was just because they'd met or they'd spotted some of the folk there. So it was that's it. It was a good thing for Hebden Bridge, and I think everybody who got involved really enjoyed it. I have watched it since, and it is good to just to watch it and just see how things were back in 1998. So it was a good thing for the old town.